So it's 4:30. I've been up for a few minutes, and I did manage to stabilize the out last night before I fell asleep listening to it. So um, anything that needs to be done is at least stable now. I'm pretty sure that I'm getting the same output every time I listen to it, so it's minor changes left. Um, again, looking at 24, 48 hours before it's done. So it's close to 8, and I have finalized the last track. I called it something along the lines of not being able to convince myself that my paranoia is frivolous, but being able to ensure that it doesn't affect others, which is accurate. But maybe not the best reflection of the song. It was called Schizoid, and it was creative writing. Again, I think that I need to cite Stephen King as probably the most important influence there. It's pretty base. Again, I was 15 when I wrote those lyrics, and it's as was the case with all this stuff. There was a sort of a tongue-in-cheek aspect to it. So it was kind of meant to be a little bit silly while being like a cartoonish concept of darkness. And that's how I always interacted with it. It's probably largely because I spent so much time reading Stephen King that I never, the dark side, the spooky things didn't. I always knew it was fiction, right? Even as a child, my starkly rationalist leanings were apparent. So that was the initial track about a person that's dealing with, I should say something like schizoaffective disorders or even just mental illness, as having difficulty interacting with the world outside them and wants to blow it up. There's a kernel of truth in that, but it's exaggerated to points that were never of any serious concern. Um, as I've aged, I have had some episodes that have worried people, although it's never led to any behavior that's harmed anyone or had any potential to harm anyone. And I think that's what I'm getting across in the renaming. The song may have not really ever really been about me, even if there was a kernel of truth in it. It was an exaggeration to the realm of pure and utter fiction. But that would be the proper reflection on that, is that, yeah, it can go a little crazy sometimes, but I'm not gonna harm anyone. So it's under control. I'm not done yet. I need to do a fuller version of this. I cut the end part off for this so that I can put it onto the remix compilation, and then I need to sort through the singles. So that'll get me through the night anyways. I have 3 cigarettes left, and what I'm doing with the single compiling doesn't require smoking. So those 3 cigarettes are the end of the cigarettes. That's it. I should be able, I need to do some cleaning in here quite badly, but I should be able to get into the compiling aspect tomorrow. So I'm over this hump. I started this in June, so this is a long time coming, and I'm glad it's done. So it's about 2:30, and I've had a minor crisis here all night. The file, I opened it up just to, I knew I had a couple of clicks and pops, so I wanted to replace that in the file, and it didn't know. After some stripping things down, I realized that I had a bass part muted, and the bass part was interacting with the cut and paste the same way that the other ones were. But I think that's actually preferred in this case. So I've been trying to find a way to get it to save wrong and stay that way. I think I've isolated a few likely causes and how to prevent that. But for right now, I'm just turning it off for a little bit because I'm not 100% sure what I did to create the problem. Um, like I say, I've isolated a few things, but one of the possibilities is just that it sat for a while, um, which is not really cause and effect. But if I'm dealing with some kind of data corruption, it could just it's a possibility I have to consider. It might indicate something's not working right, but it's the easiest thing to do that, and I wanted to do some typing. But it's been a minor crisis all night. But I think it's under control now. I will have to replace the file, but there's a few things I'm testing, so we'll find it. Well, it's 20 to 11, and that was a nightmare. When I went back in there after I had turned it off for a bit, there was an entirely different file that wasn't nulling. I've got an algorithm for that one. I'm running it again, and I'll see if it's stable when it comes back up. It's very strange. I don't really have a clear cause and effect understanding of it. It almost seems like it reversed itself. So before it was the base file that was not staying put, and now it's, well, it was the muted, like the blur file that wasn't staying put, and now it's the file that the blur file is interacting with that wouldn't stay put. As stated, I was able to determine an algorithm that does null repeatedly. We'll see what happens when I open the file back up. I couldn't get any mixing done because the file wasn't stable. But like I say, I'm going to let it sit again, get something to eat, and then come back in a bit.